Hey, are we on? Why do I always say that? Of course we're on. Hi, everybody. Leslie here. Zazoo Plazz. Sunday, what is it? Sunday the 20th, October 20th, 2024. And I made it. Oh, that cold I had last week. No, my neighbor's out. That's good. Yeah, it came back. So I didn't know if I was going to make it today, but here I am. So I decided I did a shorter workout. I just did like a little hit workout and had some breakfast, and I forgot to buy turkey sausage and. But I'm getting it done. It's you know every day can't be perfect because then when you have those really stellar days, those beautiful, but I woke up, I said, "Oh, okay, I've got a cold and I forgot the turkey sausage, but it's a beautiful day out." And I try to think, and I always do. I think of three things. I sit down and have a meal and I realize, I can think of a lot more things to be thankful for. Um, and it's all good. Even the stuff that, like, I'm sick, this and that. I look at it as, okay, the other day, I was feeling fine. I was feeling great. And then I was going through these photos, these old photos that I've been carrying. My dad just dumped a few boxes of photos on me before my mom died. And then, or yeah, it was before. Even maybe when I was writing the book, I had them, but they're not scanned or anything. And I didn't have time. I'd take a few photos here and there and look at them, but I not until I got in my own place here, in my own space, did I didn't think I was going to talk about this, but it's relevant because it's how I got sick again. Because, I'm laying all these pictures out and then they smell musty and I'm looking at them. I'm like, who are these people? Friends of my parents, and it's all these, and there were duplicates and, pictures of my cousin's kids, mostly my cousin who's a few months older than me. She had her kids in the 90s before I was even married. And I have like tons of pictures. I have a whole big thing of my cousin's kids. And I'm like, they have more than enough pictures of their kids. Why am I carrying this crap? I'm like, okay, you know, I have more pictures. My mother had almost more pictures of my cousin's kids than of my kids. She had a little envelope with pictures of my kids that she used to stick on the fridge, you know. But of course, I have a lot of prints, pictures of my kids, prints, PRINTS. Because like from my parents, because all of ours are on digital. When our kids were born, we had digital cameras. We had a big one in 2000, and then they started getting smaller, and then our phones. But this is important, kids. If you're not Gen X, you won't know this. So my mom and dad would take pictures, and with their cameras, and they were very good. So they're all these like really dark and not very good photos. But and then they'd get like they did like doubles or triples of them, wherever they took their photos to be developed. So I've been carrying around this stuff, like triplicates of photos that aren't even that great. So I just took a big circular bin. I took a big box. I've been emptying boxes from my closet. And when I get down to it, there's very few pictures of good pictures of me, just me. There's pictures of me with my parents, me with my kids, me with my husband, ex-husband. It's like, nobody took a picture just of me, you know? Okay, enough ranting. But you see, I let myself sort of sit in that. And so I took all the pictures, and then I said, "Oh," I started feeling really tired Friday. Like, I pushed myself to get through just a few more, and I ended up being up like way too late. And or early or whatever it was, because it was maybe morning when I was doing it. I had dinner. But yeah, I just started feeling kind of tired and kind of meh. And I'm like, I started sneezing again. And that's how I know I overdid it. So you got to take care, you got to, and I always get signs ahead of time when I'm getting sick. If I didn't get it over it the last time, like I sort of got over it. And then I started doing too much and working out too hard. And then I got laid down, knocked down again. So I just slept a lot today. I just had lots of liquids, and I said, no, I'm gonna do my Zazoo report, and then I'll be done. I did make some red clam sauce and linguine last night, but the bus of sprouts didn't bring my. They ran out of. Who runs out of linguine? They didn't have linguine. Like all the pasta is gone. You couldn't find me a lousy box of linguine. So maybe I'll have to make ditalini. I have some extra boxes. Anyway, so this weekend in Hartford was the Hartford Marathon, which it's in my book. I talk about the first time that I ran the Hartford Half Marathon with my friend Michelle, who was Millie in the book. But it got me thinking. I took down the box in my closet that has all my old running gear. And what a beautiful day they had and part of me is like, I can just running it in my mind makes me tired because, I ran it. This is like, you get like, they say your Chiron return is around 50-51, which is when I ran it, 2015 we did it. And then we did a bunch of other half marathons and 5Ks and 10Ks and a whole bunch of races I did. Um, but I think the one that is always going to be first in my mind is that first one that we ran. I did it in 2 hours 10, just about 11 minutes. 2 hours 11 minutes, which is a pretty good time. For 13.1 miles. So it was about a 10-minute mile, which was pretty good for me. And in case, so in this bin, I have all of my old running stuff. My it's like a camelback, put on your back and put water in it and sip it. And all my, medals and things, like my old sports watch and all this stuff. My jacket that I used to wear, like a reflective jacket and tights and in the winter. Here's the shirt. I think, is this the first year? Oh, 2016. 2016, I got this. That was the next year that I ran it. There was another shirt for the first year, but this was the one from the second. See the little arch at the Hartford? So, kids, this is proof that I did it. See, saw the half Hartford 13.1. Okay. Then, so here are the medals that I got. Here's the first one. Was this the first one or second? The second one, my friend was sick. So she passed away in 2017. So she got sick, really sick, um, after we ran, that next summer after we ran it in October, she got really sick and passed away in the following August 2017. But at the time she didn't know, or I didn't know, because she wasn't telling me that she had been sick 10 years prior and it came back, you know. She got this, she thought she was over it and it came back and, but for that moment she needed somebody who would help her, reach that goal. And I think it's something that she felt like she had to finish the race. So we just got to know each other and we started training together and we were all in the same little group at the Y in Ellington, and which is where she lived. She lived in Ellington, Connecticut, near where I live now. So this was the one. See, even says on the back what my time is. 20. They gave you a little sticker. It says Leslie Plazz. See, that's me. So yeah, I did this. I did this. And it's heavy. Look how heavy it is. It's like boom. It's like freaking. It's really. It's like a heavy weight. See, I don't know if you could tell, but it's thick and heavy. So that was the first year, and then the second year I got. They made it even bigger for this. And the second year I ran it with like a thing on my. See if I can find the pic. I had a protector uh, on my arm because that August I had broken my radius all the way up to here, and I ended up having to get pins, which I still have, and they did the carpal tunnel on there, and then I got it on the other one, then like a year or two later. But say, look how huge this thing is. I mean, it's look at it's met it's it's huge. It's it's got weight to it. Look at this thing. That's the arches in Hartford. See? Right? Oh wait, no, this one isn't the arch. The other one was. That's the Capitol building and a bunch of things that are on the course. I never really looked at this. I think that's the Mark Twain. It's the Mark Twain House and the old State House downtown, and the Capitol, all of which I've been in. Our cute little, cute little. Oh yeah, and these are the arches. So the race finishes through the arches at Bushnell Park, right near the Capitol. And then I did a bunch of other ones. I did this. What was this? Collinsville Classic, and the Hartford Marathon. It's Eversource now. It's the Eversource Marathon. It's Eversource is our electric uh, utilities, your gas and electric. And I did this one, 10th anniversary. Oh, this was in West Hartford Reservoir. Oh, and I did this in Amherst, Mass. This was a fun fall one that I did with my friend, my other friend. And then I did, let's see, this was my first 5K, the Hartford. That was 2014. And just a couple of, Willimantic, the Frog Run. The Frog, there's a tower over near Yukon in Willimantic, Connecticut. And it's at the Frog Bridge because there's a statue of a frog on it. This is the one I did with my son, my oldest son. It's a cider mill race. It was like a mile or two. It was a fun thing that we did. Mom and Ben. We did that. So yeah, I gotta get to it. So there's this theme this week. So let's see. Oh, and I got my electric kettle. It's huge. I I know why we Americans don't really get those because I'm like, I just need my coffee maker. It's nice, but the water is way too hot to what I'm used to. But it heats the water up fast, so I'll use it. Anyway, the themes this week. So the running theme, um, it really fits in because it seemed like there was a period in my life when I was into running. I was running from things. I just didn't want to be home. My kids were in elementary, middle school, and I was out at the gym. I was just constantly running, and I wasn't. You know, I realized I thought that I was on the right track, so to speak, but I was running away from things because that was my go-to thing. If I never stopped running, I wouldn't have to face the things that I needed to face, the work I needed to do. And now that I look back, it's kind of like, well, it has nothing to do with age. It has everything to do with being in your 50s and getting to that point where, you know, and not that I really cared much when anybody ever thought of me, but realizing that you are the author of your own life, you know? Um, Up until then, I was living for, to please everybody else, thinking, maybe someday I'll get to do what I want to do. Someday I'll do what I'm here for. Um, but so we're going on this journey today. So, and that is a trap I think a lot of women fall into. That, we're pleasers, people pleasers, we do everything for everybody. And we are in service, but it's the wrong kind of service. It's it's servitude. It's a sort of a slavery we get into. I mean, I'm not using that word in any kind of ethnic or you know bad way or whatever. What I mean is that we we think that we have to be um, you know waiting on everybody in sort of a general way rather than doing what we came here to do, our specialized role, being of service but not being a doormat, in other words, for everybody to step on and wipe their feet on. So this is we've got a song that ties into that today. And for a long time, I didn't know the difference. I thought, oh, I want to be of service. And I would just trot off down every road where I thought I was, saving the whales or saving the, you know, I've got to, be the superhero. It's like that lady who worked with me, I write about in the book, Nori. She used to say, settle down, Sally. Because I'd come in every day to work when I worked at the agency and I wanted to save the world. And she knew, she was older than me. You only have so much energy and time and you're going to get sick. You try to do for everybody. You can't. So in the end, you end up going on a journey to find yourself. Not find yourself because you've been there all along, but determine what it is that you're meant, in what capacity are you meant to serve. And that can take a little bit of, time to find out because you have to clear out all the other stuff. And you can't do that when you're running all over the place. So Isaiah, the Lord was pleased to crush him in infirmity. Crush, I'm thinking like that Monty Python, that the foot that came up, the flying circus. Um, Crush, yeah, like, you crush a can or, a box or something. But yeah, I mean, this cold, this infirmity. Infirmity is things that don't go the way you want them to go. You get sick, you're 10,000 spoons and all you need is a knife. Meeting the man of your dream. Well, you know what I mean. Black fly in your Chardonnay. Yeah, that's, never mind. You know the song. Alanis Morissette. Isn't it ironic? Anyway, so it says, basically, I'm paraphrasing Isaiah here, the Old Testament reading for today. Give basically what we are asked to do. Isaiah was a prophet in the Old Testament. There are secret messages for us to decode in the Bible. Basically, if you give your life and your troubles over to God, um, for your ancestors, for the karma that you bring. Each of our souls brings, things into this every life to kind of deal with, It's kind of like, you're at the you go to the buffet and there's a lot of stuff at the buffet in Vegas, right? It's like Vegas vacation, where cousin Eddie, he goes, it's like $2 and he flaps this stuff on his plate. It's like blue, that kind of thing. But we're not meant to eat everything at the buffet. There's only so many things we can partake of in each life. So you see where you have like squares to the north node and stuff, and and the more squares you have, your north node is like where you're going, and you look at your south node is where you've been, at the dragon's tail or something. And if you have a lot of squares, that means that you have a lot of things to take care of in this life. You got a lot on your to-do list. I only have like one major one. And that planet, well, Saturn. I have Saturn squared my north node. That in sixth house. So that means through the discipline of my daily work, I can open up that door. I can free myself, right? This is what I've been reading a lot about. Karma and the nodes. I have this book. Oh, I have this book. Yeah. I got these books. Let's see. Good. Oh yeah. Uh, no, that's the part of which this book here is a really good book that I'm reading. Karmic Astrology: The Moon's Nodes and Reincarnation by Martin Schulman. This is a really good book. So that's what it talks about. It talks about things that your soul arranged for you to take care of in this life, right? So, um, and then you will see, it said you will see your descendants in a long life. And the suffering, suffering is it's Chiron too, the wounded healer. So through your wound, through your suffering, um, and some of us are here to clear up a lot of the karma, those old patterns of thinking, guilt and fear based from our ancestors. Could be thousands of years, or could it be, could be this life. It depends how old your soul is and what the plan is. Psalm says, "Ask for the mercy of the Lord. Place trust in Him. Surrender." In other words, uh, it talks about justice. God is help, merciful. God is our help and our shield. It's like the warrior. It's Aries, like the warrior. That's interesting. We've got the North Node and South Node, Aries and Libra. Libra is justice. So in Hebrews, it says Jesus. Okay, so Jesus came here pure, right? He's not tainted with that karma and stuff. So he wanted to tell us that the connection each of us has to God is within each one of us, not just the Pope or the saints or whatever. We have the potential, right? We're protected and guided. So we don't have to be afraid. Um, and we don't have to surrender our power to somebody outside of us to save us. It is within each one of us, right? That's the thing. Not everybody knows that. And our service is our ransom to free us. So we're getting close to the song of the week. See if you can figure it out. I was hearing ransom, and this all of a sudden I hear tied up, taken away, and held for ransom. Okay, Mark 10. James and John, two of the Jesus's apostles, good guys, but they're like, "Hey, Jesus, can we sit at the right and the left of you when, you get up to heaven?" So okay. So it's kind of like they wanted to, seats on the plane when you go up. Hey, we can all hang out together with it. Jesus is like, no, it's not like that. You can partake in the same suffering, but you can't. It wasn't to him to say what their reward was going to be. That's the God, right? So you've got to, um, they can drink of the same cup and get the same baptism. So he was putting himself at one, Jesus, saying, "Well, yeah, you're my brothers, we're here together, but it's not for me to say what's, going to happen, when you leave this life and on the higher plane, because, somebody else could be sitting there." In other words, you know, their mindset was very egoic, very, one is better than the other. On the other planes, everything is equal. There's no hierarchy. There's no you better than me. Everybody has a path, you know, and they go, it's all, in the higher planes. There's none of that duality, you versus me versus, Um, but whoever wishes to be first shall be the servant of all, he said. So that's interesting. Just, you just got back now. So that's what I want to say about that. The whole servant thing. And so Tom Petty, you don't have to live like a refugee. You don't have to. Okay, we don't want to hear. We don't want to hear you sing. Okay, get to it. Talk about it. All right. Okay, Zazoo, settle down. January 1980, second single from his "Damn the Torpedoes" album. peaked at number 15 on the Billboard 100. Said it had guitar and forceful vocals, gutsy, petty as his best, says Billboard. Perfect union of power and passion. The song was co-written by Tom Petty and Mike Campbell. So Campbell wrote the music. Tom Petty wrote the words over the music, and it said Campbell said he lifted it up without changing the chords. So he used just the words to lift up the music with his voice. That's interesting. Um, it said they went into the studio and it was hard to record this song because they did it over and over and over just to get that feel right. It didn't feel right. So the guy Campbell wrote the song. He had to go out of town for 2 days. He needed a break. Then he could regroup, come back. So sometimes it's nice to take a little breather, because creative types, we get really burned out and we need to look after ourselves, And sometimes it's the best thing you can do. Go out, take a walk, especially in this beautiful fall weather. Go out, take a walk, and nature is its way of resetting us. Connect to the Christ, the Spirit, and sometimes that's what you need to do when you're working with people. You can't get clear, right, on what you're doing. Sometimes you need to detach, go off by yourself, and then come back. But it's interesting about all of us have to fight to be free. Us have to fight to be free. Ransom. Okay, so that's we all do it. Ransom is paying off our karma, right? You can't. We got to go through it. Can't tell anyone about it. We have to free ourselves of our karmic debt, and then we get freed by the universe, and then we don't have to run anymore, right? Don't need to run. Like refugees, right? They get kicked out of their country or your planet or something, and you got to run, and you got to go here, and you got to go there. You tied up means taken against our will, right? So our souls arranged it before we were born. We did this to ourselves. So if we say we got tied up, we can't sink into pity and say, oh, or blame and say somebody did this to me. We did it to ourselves on some level. And at the same time, we can't judge anybody else because they're dealing with their stuff, but we can't do it for them. That's the other thing. That's where the serving thing comes in. We can't pay somebody else's ransom for them. They have to do it for themselves. But, you come in this life, some of us, I think it's like me, I got everything dumped on me. It was my job to clean up everybody's mess. And I've been doing that my whole life. So, but then again, God wants us to use our gifts and our blessings to lift up, to enjoy life and lift others up. At a certain point, you don't have to run anymore. You just surrender and let your rewards come to you. That's why Jesus said he couldn't tell them what it was going to be, because everybody in their chart, you have your rewards. You can see where they are, if you learn to read your astrology chart. But then you just have to let it come. Once you've done your time, then you just relax and let the good stuff come to you. You don't have to force it. You don't have to say, I want to be this, give this to me. You just let it come. Put it out there and let God handle it. Bring your rewards. Well, that's all I got this week. I'm going to go take care of myself. Get over this thing. So that's the Zazoo report for the week. I wish you a wonderful week. And I will be back here same time. Well, different time. Same place. Zazoo. Signing out. Take care. Bye-bye.